How y'all doing? Welcome once again to the Paranormal Portal. I'm your host, Brent Thomas, and this is the Saturday show, which is right after Friday. So it works out real good. I hope you guys are doing great. Thank you so much for joining me on this Saturday. Hope your weekend is going amazing. Of course, mine's been incredibly busy, but good. It's been okay. I've been feeling kind of productive, which is good. Just doing a lot of audio stuff lately, working on some projects. So I got that going for me, but that probably means nothing to you guys other than I'm here right now and we got 2 full hours of the portal to dig into. And by God, we're going to do that. Tonight we'll be obviously hitting the news in just moments. And then we'll get to the Discord question of the week. Special thanks to Chucky Danger, who's going to be giving us he gives us the questions, rather. He's not going to give us. He did give us a question. He does so every week, and the Discord question of the week is a way to integrate our Discord community into these live shows. So if you are not currently a member of the Discord community, we'd love for you to become a member. And all you got to do is just look for the link below in the description, or if one of the mods can put it in the chat, I would appreciate it. But all you got to do is click that link and it's free to join. Now, Discord is a little bit confusing, just fair warning, but there is a discussion thread in the Paranormal Portal Discord that does feature some videos to kind of walk you through how to use Discord. Once you figure it out, it's like, oh, this is very easy, because it really is. It's just awkward because I don't know of another program quite like it, to be honest with you. So I think that's what throws everybody. It's like, what the hell is this? I don't know what I'm doing. Fair enough. So we put some videos in there. Sheldon hosted them. Thank you, Rachel, for putting that link up there. Kenneth Laux. Hi, Kenneth. Good to see you. That's a brand new name. I'm pretty sure we've never met before, but I'm thrilled that you're here. Thanks for coming in and being part of the family. And hopefully you'll like what we're doing here, and you'll choose to subscribe and hang out with us more often. That'd be wonderful. But Great to see everybody. Again, Kenneth is brand new. Kenneth Laux, I think is how you say it. Rachel gets it right, is in here. Chucky Danger is in here. Annie Manul is here. Rachel gets it right, is still here. I said your name twice. Vincent Sanchez is here. Good to see you, Vincent. Thank you for coming in. Annie Manul is here. John Temprin is here. Let's see who else is in here. The Batman is in here. Hey, Batman. Gotta love when Batman's in the house. I love when you're all here, actually, but you know, everybody needs the Batman, right? Let's see who else. I said, oh, there's Isaac Areola. Good to see you, Isaac. Just scrolling through the list here. I'm really low tech when it comes to this. Deborah Neighbors is here. Good to see you. Luna Moonicorn. Okay, I'll check my email as soon as I can, Luna. Thank you. Not sure what you emailed me, but I will look at it when I get a chance. I'm just scrolling up and I saw that you responded. So Devin is here. Good to see you, Devin. Thanks for coming in. And these are just the active chatters. So these are the people that I can see are in here. If you're just watching, that's fine. There's no prerequisite to chatting if you choose not to. But if you don't, I don't know you're here. I just see numbers on the screen. So if you want to shout out, say hello in the chat, and then I can tell you hi. Phil Funk is in here. Good to see you, Phil. Thanks for coming in. And I think that's everybody I got over in Rumble. We've got Barbara Morrow over there and HB Girl to You, which is our lucky gypsy. Good to see you. And hello to any of you over on Twitch. If you happen to be checking out the stream, we really appreciate it. And follow if you would. We've kind of been in a holding pattern for Twitch follows. Like we got, I don't know what we got, like 76 or something like that. And then it's just been stopped. And so I don't know. I'm not sure what I'm not doing right for the Twitch world, but I just put the shows over on there anyway because I can stream over there through this restream, and I like Twitch. I watch Twitch, some Twitch creators from time to time, and pretty entertaining stuff. So I figure, well, we'll put our name in the hat. Maybe somebody will see it and decide, yeah, I kind of like this. Or maybe they'll look at it and go, what the hell is this? I'm not blowing my time on this. And fair enough. I don't think everybody that sees the show is going to love it, but I hope a lot of you do. But anyway, this has always been a labor of love for me, but I love the labor. So it's a labor of love, and I love laboring for love. I don't know. That's the best I could come up with. Anyway, so we're going to get to the news, then we're going to get to the Discord question of the week, then we're going to get to an article from Phantoms and Monsters, and then we're going to get to the Cryptids, which will include more Phantoms and Monsters, and one from or Sasquatch Chronicles as well. And anything else we end up hitting on. Again, this show is not scripted in any manner, so it is just me making noise into a microphone, talking about things, but you guys in the chat are my co-host tonight, so if you want to be part of the conversation or you want to talk to me about something, as long as it's not either inappropriate or not paranormal related, let's keep it to the paranormal supernatural stuff. Just feel free to ask me a question in the chat, preferably with capital letters. And it's hard for me to see when I'm doing the news, so if you can wait till after the news to start hollering at me in chat, that would be great. Cryptoids, of course, John Temprin. We always do cryptids in the cryptid corner. So anyway, that's the agenda tonight as I know it. But again, we may end up far in deep left field for some reason, and that's fine. This show is first and foremost a discussion. It's not a, there's not an agenda on any show. I just have a rough outline of things that we can talk about. But if we don't, that's okay. So, just so you know, no politics too. Absolutely. Yeah, we don't, politics, thank God, are done now for a while, hopefully. They're never really done, but you know what I mean? Hairball. Hey, P. Gene, good to see you. Thanks for coming in. So anyway, those are, that's my plan tonight. I hope that, it works for you and you decide to stick around. So, anything else? Nope. I can't think of anything else. One thing else, ladies and gentlemen, our good friend, Mr. The Unknown, created this, and I thought this is really cool. And I'm going to play it for you now. I'm going to try to play it for you now. Let me just do this. And I actually put it up on Instagram and on TikTok because I thought, oh, that's cool. So this is from our good friend, The Unknown, he's made plenty of little stingers for me through the years, but this is a brand new one he just did, and I thought, oh, that's really cool. So let's take a look at what he did and showcase it right now. And we'll see how this works. I don't know how it's going to work. Let's see. All right, let me pause that. Let me go back here. Should have volume, I think. Yep, should be good. Okay, so this is courtesy of The Unknown, ladies and gentlemen. Our good friend. I don't think he's here, but I'm going to show off what he did anyway. He posted on Discord, and I found it finally. I'm like, oh, my God, that's really cool. So it is out live on TikTok. And if any of you make stuff that you want to send to me, I'll be happy to post that out there too. So just throwing it out there. I appreciate it. All right, here it is, ladies and gentlemen, from our good friend, Mr. Unknown. Isn't that cool? That is very cool. Thank you, Unknown. I appreciate it. That was very cool. Let's watch it again, because that was so much fun. I want to watch it again. That does look awesome, doesn't it? Perfectly disturbing. I just love it. Absolutely love it. Very cool. Thank you, Unknown. Appreciate that. Yeah, chills, right? Yeah. That was very well done. So, oops, I did it again. Sorry. I didn't mean to do it a third time, but anyway. Just thought I'd put it out there, and I appreciate when you guys do that. I know, speaking of Grateful Owl, she made the transition stinger for the Cryptid Corner, which is really epic as well. So, I appreciate it. I just think it's fun when you guys do things like that and help me increase the production value of the show. You guys are incredibly talented and gifted, and I just really appreciate your involvement in this process because, unfortunately, I'm a one-man show. This is it. And I only have so much time. So nice work. It's great. Can we have it with question of the week? What? Can we have it with? Can we have it with question of the week? What do you mean? I don't understand. I don't know what you're asking, Maggie. Unless that wasn't for me. Maggie, I'm not firm on my statement. Okay. That was a great promo clip. Yeah, it was. And that's the really cool thing. I mean, it just means so much to me because, we've got this incredible community around the show, and I can't take any credit for it. You guys all found this place somehow, and thank God you did. Paranormal Portal video game would be cool. Fighting Bigfoot and cryptids. Actually, Johnny, if I was a man of programming and coding ability, I used to program years and years and years ago, but I don't know any of the current languages. And I just don't have the time to to do that. But maybe someday that would be kind of fun, a little mobile game or something. I don't know. But currently there's nothing in the works that quite that ambitious. I'm just trying to get people to notice we're here right now before I go too big on the production aspects of the show. Oh, thank you, bad boy. Look at that man came in and making it rain. God bless you, bad boy. Thank you so much. And congratulations to all of those who got some memberships there. 5 memberships given out. What a deal. I'm back. I've escaped the party. You'd rather be here than at a party? Wow. Well, I think every episode's a party. But anyway, let's get to the news and find out if I've got anything here that is of interest to you guys. But let's check it out. It's time for me to news you up. So let's get to the news. 1,000%. Wow. Woo-hoo. Good to see ya. Thanks for coming in. All right, it is time, ladies and gentlemen, for the Paranormal Portal News. I'm your anchor, Mr. Brent Thomas, at the news desk, which is exactly the same as the other desk because it's the same freaking camera angle. It's just got this pretty border. Makes it look a little more visually compelling, but we are going to be getting into the news. Just a little first announcement that I always make. Obviously, throughout the course of the show, we utilize many sites, and I really encourage you guys, please check out these sites. Please support what they are doing. These are incredible sites. The people running these sites are doing an amazing job, and so your support goes a long way to help them keep the lights on. So please support them. Stop over there. Each one of the sites that we use has thousands of more articles and things of interest on there, especially to those of you that are into the paranormal, supernatural, Fortean topics. And so just please do what you can and spread the word about these sites as well. Not only the Paranormal Portal, but all these amazing sites. The site we're going to be utilizing right now is called Unexplained-Mysteries. It is an incredible news site. And this is something I actually jumped on a live stream this morning. Inadvertently, I was just giving Tex some crap, and he ended up sending me a link, so I went on their show for a little bit. But Tex and Brandy were talking about this story, and I saw this yesterday too. I was thinking of talking about this, but it's apparently a situation where there's some apes, it's monkeys escaped from a lab over in South Carolina. That's where it was. So let's check this out. The site is unexplained-mysteries.com. Real life Planet of the Apes as 43 monkeys escaped from the lab. Well, it's now it's not a zoo. First of all, let's make sure to zero in on that. It's not like somebody just left the monkey enclosure open accidentally at the zoo and now there's monkeys running around. These are lab monkeys, which means that they've been tested on. And that to me is kind of frightening because what were they testing? What have these primates been exposed to that now might be out in the wild, might be potentially shedding or spreading out into the world at large? It's kind of like the whole killer bees experiment, which was taking Africanized bees and crossing them with American honeybees with the intention of creating a much more ambitious bee that'll make more honey. And what do we get? Killer bees. So thank you, science. And now we've got these monkeys, which is horrible. I mean, I don't like the whole animal testing thing at all. I think it's pretty crappy to take and impose our will on another species that obviously can't speak for themselves. They can't make the choice. By virtue of them being a lesser life form, they get injected with all kinds of horrible stuff just to see what happens. And that's tragic to me. That's tragic. But the case is that the monkeys escaped and they're now at large out in the South Carolina, I imagine forest, I guess. Now, these were rhesus monkeys, R-H-E-S-U-S, rhesus monkeys. So let's get into this and find out what the hell's going on, as concerning as this is. The rhesus monkeys have so far managed to evade capture after escaping from a laboratory in South Carolina. Yeah, what, they don't like people? They're not, what, you just can't call them home? Yeah, they must have been so happy in that lab. They're like, hell no, people, hell no. An incident that sounds like the opening scenes from a Planet of the Apes movie. Authorities in the small town of Yemassee, have been trying to track down a large group of monkeys that managed to escape a local laboratory after a caretaker reportedly failed to secure the doors properly. They are believed to be in the wooded region around the facility. Yemassee Police Department wrote on Facebook. The staff at Alpha Genesis, see, that's already a scary name. What the hell does Alpha Genesis mean? Are currently attempting to entice the animals back using food in order to ensure their safe capture. Those worried about the monkeys spreading some sort of experimental virus needn't be, however, as the animals are all too young to have actually been used as part of any testing. Okay. Are you sure? Uh, they're also not thought to otherwise pose any risk to the general public. We urge anyone who sights or encounters one of these animals to contact 911 immediately and to refrain from approaching or interacting with them, the police department wrote. These animals are highly sensitive and easily startled. We recommend that the public to avoid the area to prevent frightening them further. Anyone living in the area has also been advised to keep their homes secure. Residents are strongly advised to keep their doors and windows secure to prevent these animals from entering homes, the department said. Are they sure they've never been tested on? I mean, it was, wasn't it a bat in a wet market that gave us COVID? or a Wuhan lab? I don't know. I'm just saying it could be. So I don't know. This is like, it's almost the precursor to another pandemic or something stupid like that. I don't know. Another fine example of science just dropping a turd on us, I guess. Now, hopefully they get them all back and everything's okay. And God forbid, they continue this research, but at any rate, what the hell? How about you do this stuff on an island somewhere, somewhere that maybe if they do get out, they're not going far because they probably aren't going to start, doing the backstroke over 2 miles to land. I don't know how many islands there are around, but maybe there's one somewhere that they could use instead of, being in an area that's not extraordinarily removed from homes. I don't know. That's just terrifying to me. I don't know. There's so much we don't know. What the hell was this lab testing for? What tests do they do? I think everyone has a right to know because now there's 43 monkeys. Maybe they weren't directly tested on, but maybe they were exposed by virtue of being in the neighborhood of other monkeys. I don't know. That's just really concerning. I don't like this stuff at all. But, yeah, creepy. The monkey business reminds me of the movie 28 Days Later. Yeah, exactly. I mean, who knows? Here we're testing encephalitis. It's like, oh, thank you. Or rabies or what? Who knows? God only knows. But anyway, that's absolutely disturbing. And there you go. That's a little bit of a nightmare fuel for you to start the show. Smash the likes, guys and gals. Absolutely, bad boy. Way to represent, brother. All right. Let's get to the next article because there's always more. I've got a few more. I've got 2 more. I guess 2, not few. I got a couple more. Couple more news stories for you tonight. And the next one up is coming from the space and astronomy section. I don't know how long this one was, though. Let me check. It is totally doable. It's not very long. This one also comes from unexplained-mysteries.com, and this is extraterrestrial life could be thriving near Uranus. There's extraterrestrial life thriving near Uranus. Are you serious? Who the hell wrote that headline? Somebody wrote that headline and was sitting there chuckling to themselves. Ah, dear God, that is funny as hell. Somebody got paid to write that. That's so hilarious. Really, everything near my anus looks pretty dead. Just saying. Or it soon will be. If it ain't yet, it soon will be. All right, let's see what this says. Scientists now believe that a small moon orbiting Uranus. God, I just can't do it. That's no moon. Sorry. That's too easy. That is too easy. So, orbiting Uranus may be capable of harboring primitive alien life forms. I've flushed some things that might be alien life forms. I'm not sure. Next story. I can't quit it now. I can't quit you. This story is just too good. I'm sorry. I gotta drive it all the way home. All right, I'll try to be professional here. It seems that there could be yet another subsurface ocean of liquid water in the solar system with Miranda, a moon of Uranus. Maybe I should say Uranus. That doesn't really help, though. I like Uranus better. Joining the ranks alongside Jupiter's Europa and Saturn's Enceladus as promising places to look for evidence of extraterrestrial life. One of our solar system's most unusual moons, Miranda, which was photographed by the Voyager 2 spacecraft back in the 1980s, has a surface coverage in strange grooves and unusual patterns thought to be indicative of tidal forces and internal heating. By revisiting these images and attempting to reverse engineer the process that could have produced such a surface, scientists were able to determine that Miranda could very well have a subsurface ocean of liquid water, or at least did have one several 100 million years ago. This hidden ocean would be around 62 miles deep and hidden beneath 19 miles of thick, icy crust. That sounds gross. Incredibly, Miranda itself is relatively tiny, with a radius of just 146 miles, meaning that such an ocean would make up almost half of its entire body. We don't know for sure that it even has an ocean until we go back and collect more data, said co-author Tom Nordheim, a planetary scientist from Johns Hopkins Applied Physics Laboratory. We're squeezing the last bit of science we can from Voyager 2's images for now. We're excited by the possibilities and eager to return to study Uranus and its potential ocean moons in depth. You're going to study Uranus in depth. Oh, my God. Yeah, it's probably got a whole atmosphere of methane, I'm betting. I'm betting you're right, Annie. I'm waiting on the Ghost Radar to say something about Uranus. So far, it's been quiet. Apparently, even the spirits have better manners than I do. But that's not saying much because, I'm an idiot. So there you go. There you go. I don't know. Maybe more life. And again, they're not talking about gray aliens or something like that. They're probably just talking about there might be bacteria in there. I got tons of bacteria in my anus if they want to check it out. Oh God, I'm so sorry. You guys showed up for this. You came here for this. You poor people. I'm so sorry. No. That's not what we need, Rachel. We'd never get out of this gutter. We would never get out of this gutter if Don was here. What? I guess Uranus is usually where you get what the hell's a Poseidon's kiss? I don't even know what that means. Just don't enter its atmosphere. If you do, I hope you're not smoking. Boom! Go up like the Death Star. All right, that's enough stupidity for one article. But can you believe, that's why I had to read it, right? That's just too easy. Too easy. I saw that headline and went, yep. We're checking that one out. Oh, geez. All right, let's get to the next and last article tonight. This one is kind of interesting. This one has to do with Linda Napolitano, who is the abductee of one of the most famous UFO abduction cases. Her name is Linda Napolitano. And apparently her story is kind of being referenced in the new Netflix series, but she's not happy about it. So let's check out this article from Extraterrestrial Files of Unexplained-Mysteries.com. Abductee sues Netflix over Manhattan alien abduction docu-series. Linda Napolitano, who is the subject of a new Netflix documentary series, is now suing the streaming platform. Her story, which has been described by some as the greatest alien abduction case in history, began back on November 30th, 1989, when Napolitano, a mother of two, who lived in Manhattan at the time, claimed to have been visited by a gray biped that had appeared in her bedroom in the early hours of the morning. She then claimed to have been levitated out of her window by a blue beam of light. And what makes the case particularly intriguing are the testimonies of multiple alleged witnesses, some of whom even claimed to have seen her hanging out of her window. When Netflix announced that it was going to be releasing a docuseries about the case, it seemed like it would be a big hit, but just days before its debut on the platform, Napolitano, along with the estate of late author Bud Hopkins, sued the streaming giant for both defamation and for stealing the work of Hopkins, who had written a book about Napolitano case back in 1997. While the lawsuit had requested that the documentaries release be halted, as of right now, it still appears to be available to watch on the platform, having released back on October 30th. According to reports, Napolitano contests that the docuseries casts both herself and Hopkins in a negative light, and that the show portrays her as a villain for purposes of controversy and conflict. The lawsuit is the latest in a string of legal actions taken against Netflix in response to its shows, which include one by the real-life inspiration behind Martha from the popular series Baby Reindeer. Exactly what the outcome of this latest lawsuit will be, however, remains unclear. Well, there you go. I guess you can check it out on Netflix currently. I don't know if it's still live or not, or if this lawsuit will end up killing that project on Netflix. But by the sounds of it, it's still there as of the 3rd. I don't know of any updates, but yeah, I mean, I would be pissed if I had a story and somebody just decided, hey, I'm going to take that story. And I have a bunch of stories, but you know, if somebody just decided to make an episode or something about my stories, it'd be like, you didn't even call, you didn't even talk to me. What the hell are you doing? So I would be pissed too. And God only knows, maybe somebody's working on that right now. I don't know. I don't know if my stories are that compelling to everybody or not, but they certainly are for me. Everything I experienced were very personal stories and very personal experiences. So yeah, I can understand her being pissed, and certainly Bud Hopkins basically, dedicated his life to this stuff. Then to have somebody just come and take his work and say, hey, we're going to make a show about it without even entering into agreement. Hell yeah, I understand that completely. Especially if they're making them look like dicks, I mean, it's like, really? I mean, I don't know. I can't say for sure that her story is legitimate or not, but I know that some people have really questioned these witnesses or the legitimacy of these witnesses. I've heard a lot of the dialogue about that, but still, it's her story. At least, let her have a voice in it, or, at least enter into agreement with her to discuss her story. I mean, my God, sitting on the outside and go, wow, we don't think this is real. That's just horrible. Again, I know people that know Linda Napolitano, and they say she's a wonderful person. I don't know her personally, but I do share the belief that she should not have been cut out of something like that, and it should not have gone ahead without her, without her blessing. So that is tragic to me, but it's kind of the whole Hollywood machine. That's truly disturbing. But anyway, that is the last article for tonight, and I guess that means we're going to be getting back to the rest of the show, so I hope you guys are ready. But this has been a production of the Paranormal Portal News. Back to the rest of the show. Please stand by. Probably not Grandizer, because that story is so famous in the UFO world, like the Linda Napolitano abduction case. I mean, essentially, she was it was during early morning hours, like, I don't know, 5 or 6 in the morning, and she was actually sucked out, and people did witness this craft hovering above the apartment building. So it doesn't sound like, it was just something that somebody might have stumbled across without knowing. Is it impossible? Maybe, but I think as soon as they looked into it, they would know, oh, wait, I'm not gone. I was just talking. And then I switched scenes. So, did you miss me? I'm back. All right, it is now time. Hilarious and informative. Is that what you said? An informative newsy news. Thank you, Maggie. I'm glad you enjoyed it. Thank you. All right, you guys are seeing me now, right? That's unfortunate. I really enjoyed it. Well, I don't know. I didn't watch it. Oh, are you talking about another one? Okay. We knew the news would be good, but we didn't know the news would get to see Uranus. Yeah, it's a full moon rising up in here, let me tell you. Yeah, good Lord. I think maybe because a book was published, what makes it easier to hold them accountable. Yeah, I think that's true. I love twists on mythology. Grandizer, howdy. Yeah, howdy, Grandizer. Good to see you. P. Gene sees me. Good. I'm glad to be seen. All right, let's get to the Discord question of the week. I think it's about that time, right? And I did open it prior to the show starting, which is always good. I was just reading through some of the answers from Chucky's question because I did remember somebody saying, hey, Chucky, that's a great question. And it is. It's a really cool thing, but it's a very personal question from Chucky. And that's always cool when we can ask questions based around our own experiences. Okay, so essentially, folks, here it is. This is not the Cryptid Corner. That's from last night. I forgot to shut it off. All right, there we go. This is the Discord community, folks. And when you get in here, this is what it looks like. Just so you can see. I should maybe pull it down a little bit so you can see a little better. There we go. And this is the Paranormal Portal Discord server. And when you get in here, you're going to be in this part right here, the General tab. And that's right here. So if you join, it's going to give us a message saying, oh, so-and-so joined. And, you get a lot of hellos from everybody, myself included, when I see it. Sheldon is really pretty active in here. He's always looking at Discord. I get in there as much as I can, which is every few days I stop in and check out what's been going on. I don't get a chance to get in there too much, but it's just because, again, I'm only one person. Thank God Sheldon's keeping an eye on it. And thank God our admins on Discord are keeping an eye on it. So thank you to our admins and our mods here on the live shows. You guys are amazing. Thank you so much. You don't have any idea how your presence helps me so profoundly, but thank you so much for that. But if you're new to Discord, here is the thread that I was talking about. It's right here. And this is basically all the discussion threads for the Discord community. In specifically, this is a Discord tutorial. So you literally just put your mouse over it, click on it with the left mouse button, and then move over here and use your mouse wheel, the wheel between the two buttons, and you can scroll up and just check out these videos that'll kind of walk you through how Discord works, whether you're working on desktop or on mobile or whatever. And Sheldon pinned those up there. That's Boonabar Sheldon. And so, yeah, I mean, it's pretty basic once you figure out how to do it. And there's a lot of other discussion threads in here from Bigfoot, Dogman, Ghost, UFO, extraterrestrial encounters, cryptids, music, where people put up music that they like, which is really cool. I've actually found a lot of great music here. Strange phenomena, paranormal library, people recommending books, paranormal movies, where they recommend movies they've watched, art gallery, humor, and the kitchen, which has paranormal recipes, which are really kind of cool. I mean, look at that. Are you freaking serious? Looks like a pirate. What the hell are all those? What's all those little smokies doing there? I don't even want to know. But it's cute. Cute stuff. But little racks of ribs. It's just like, what? I don't think you probably make the skull, but still, if you can find the pirate skull, that's pretty cool. But anyway, that's awesome. Here's Samura cooking, stuffed Halloween hot dog recipe. That sounds awesome. I love meat. I was gonna say I love sausage, but I'm not gonna say it like that because that'll end up on a clip somewhere. Dinner served, Phil. Way to roll, brother. Wow, Phil's tearing up the steak, man. But are you serving that on a paper plate? Am I seeing this right? You made a steak and then you put it on a paper plate? The hell you say? You got to get one of these. A steak should never touch paper. It should only touch ceramic plates or fine china. Well, there you go. Very cool. Yeah, that looks like a good steak. Hope it was delicious, man. So there's all kinds of great recipes here, including one that I put in here at first. Look at that freaking pie. Are you serious? That's terrifying. That is terrifying. Little zombie fingers. That looks good. Witch's Brew Lemonade. Oof. That does look refreshing. The hell is this? Now I know what I'll be serving. Bring something to potluck, but nothing weird. I'll bring a simple cheese board. It looks like a Ouija board. That is brilliant. Yeah, very cool. There's one recipe that I did put in here. That was my offering. There's another one, stupid cutting board. Third time it brings my chicken back to life. I got to find the one that I put in here because it cracks me up. There it is. Cat poop fudge. It's laying in a bed of Rice Krispies. Is that not hilarious? That still cracks me up. Every time I see it, I'm just like, oh my God. Who in a potluck hell would be the one to dig into that? Oh, I could use some poop fudge. It still cracks me up. Anyway, we're here for the question of the week. This is something that's been championed by Chucky, and God bless you, Chucky. I really appreciate it. That is really awesome. Back to the poop. We always circle back to the poop around here, Chucky. As disturbing as that is, it's something we can all appreciate, I think, to some degree. But Chucky put this question up, and thank you, Chucky, for doing this. You've been helping me out a ton. I don't have to sit and go, what should I ask next? What have I already asked? Chucky's doing it now, and he's doing a hell of a job, doing better than I ever did, actually. So thank you for that. And yeah, thank you to everybody that participates as well. So the question this week from the question of the week is, this week, I want to ask a rather personal question, as I had some rather interesting and strange activity in my home yesterday. So as I was working on winterizing my house and getting the double-sided tape to the window frames and putting on thermal shrink wrap to keep in heat better, I had placed my scissors directly behind me on the couch. I turned around to grab the scissors to trim what I had just installed on the window when I noticed a nickel that was not there just moments before. What was significant about this apportation is that this isn't the first time this has happened. Back in March or April, I had an identical nickel appear beside my chair in my office. I buy everything with my debit card, so I never carry around change. Excuse me. My question to all of you is this. Is this a spiritual message or something along those lines? And what, in your opinion, does it mean to you? What do you think is going on with items that seemingly appear out of thin air? Now, interestingly enough, Chucky, are both of these the nickels that you found? These are both the nickels? If you could, let me know, because interestingly enough, they both are from 2010. And I don't know how common that is, or maybe if most of the nickels are in Canada, I don't know. But in the US, we get varied dates from the 70s through the 80s, to the 90s, 2000s, etc. And to be apported two of them, that's pretty incredible, that have the same date. I find that interesting. Yes, they are, Brent. Okay, very cool. I don't know, again, I don't know what kind of spectrum of Canadian money is out there, if they usually keep it from like 2010 was when they printed a bunch of nickels or what. I don't know, but I find it fascinating that they both have the same date, year date anyway. I wonder if they both have the same mint mark. Like on American coins, and I don't know if this is true in Canadian coins or not, but we have mint marks that's, we'll say like P for Philadelphia, or S for San Francisco or something. Little almost micro letters that are somewhere around the date where you can tell where it was minted. And it'd be interesting if both of these nickels were minted in the same place. Also, interestingly enough, and it's not really easy to make out, but it looks like they aren't really worn either. I don't know how the quality is based on this image. I guess I could do this and see. I mean, they look like they're in really good shape, really. So that's fascinating. But let's get, the mint is in Ottawa. Oh, okay. So all coins are minted in Ottawa in Canada. Is that right? Okay. I lived in a house where random keys and chains showed up on tables, keys that didn't go to anything we had. Wow, that's fascinating. I got 2 centennial quarters once, John says. I'm a numismatist, a.k.a. coin collector. Very cool, Lars. I have a coin collection, too. I wouldn't say I'm a numismatist. I'm more of actually more of a notiphilist. I like the paper money quite a bit. I've got some really cool coins, though. The oldest one I have is from 1762. It's a big Swedish ore. It's about like this big, and it's thick, solid copper. That's pretty cool. But anyway, I've got an old Roman coin, too. An old from ancient Rome that was gifted to me by a dear friend of mine. So I thought that was fascinating. I guess the Roman coin's probably the oldest one I have, now that I think of it, because that's a lot older than 1762. All right, Elastic Machinery comes in first and says, I feel as though similar things have happened to me on the job site, but I'm also aware of my CPTSD. I'm really not sure what that means. What is CPTSD? I don't know. And can really misplace something. Apportation doesn't exactly sound like a good thing to me, but I hope you keep us informed. I don't know if it's, necessarily evil. It's just something's being given. Talowich comes in next and said, I had this happen to me about 2 weeks ago. I all of a sudden had another pair of scrubs in my wardrobe, and I know I didn't buy them. I know they weren't gifted to me because I was stressing that I needed more scrubs, so I knew I did not have them. 2 minutes later, I found another pen from someone I've only met once gifted to me. I had their personal information on there, and they have like a business, and I, for the life of me, cannot wrap my head around how I got another pair of scrubs that showed up out of nowhere, and another pen that has his information on it that I have only met him once. I remember him actually giving me the one pen. Wow, that is fascinating. That's really cool, though, because you had a need, and that need was fulfilled. So that's pretty freaking awesome. Wow. I mean, it's one thing to have something show up and be like, well, I don't really need this, but it's interesting. But it's another thing to go, what am I going to do? I need something. And I don't know. I need to get it, but I don't have it, and I really need it. And then, boom, it shows up. That's really fascinating. Very cool, Talowich. Thank you. Annie Manul comes in next and says, it's a sign of approval from someone upon your part. From who or what is a whole other question. Traditionally, a silver coin from when coins were made out of real silver were left by the Fae. And I don't know if our nickels are still made out of nickel, but they might be close substitutes, given that our nickel comes from a meteor. It might be another type of entity, like a past relative. Do you have one who said things like, don't take a wooden nickel? I think it really comes down to your own intuition and the context of those nickels. Oh, it just hit me that you're being prudent and saving money with the windows. Was this the case the first time? If it is, then someone thinks you should keep doing this. Yeah. Hell, wrap the whole damn thing in plastic and you might get some cash. Like, well, you're saving more money and here's your reward. No, I don't know. That's fascinating. Thank you, Annie. Annie, I appreciate that feedback. I did not know that about the Fae leaving silver. Which one? Who leaves gold coins? I want those guys to come visit. I guess leprechauns, but they don't usually give it up very willingly. It's a leprechaun. They're always after me, Lucky Charms. All right, Eric the Wandering Purple Hobbit comes in next, says, reality is overlapping. Who knows? Mysteries abound, and only dumb people who believe they are smart enough to answer this will try. Well, I don't think that's a good way to put that at all, Eric. That's kind of a horrible thing to say. Just enjoy the mysteries as they present themselves. I don't think anybody can weigh in. It's not a smart or dumb thing. So please don't make degrading comments on there unless you weren't talking. By the context of that, it sounds like you're talking to the group, and I don't want to see that kind of thing ever. Don't degrade people for offering their opinions. That's not something I want to ever propagate in this community. So, but I think I might be misreading that, and I hope I am. Oh, thank you, Bad Boy. Bad Boy just donated $10. Love the show over on Rumble. Thank you, brother. I appreciate that a whole bunch. You're the man. You're the man. Thank you. All right. Well, coming up next is Phil Funk. I do not know if you had a relative that was close to you pass recently or have had a loved one in your thoughts who has passed, but coins appearing has been said to be communication from loved ones letting you know they're okay. That's interesting. Very interesting. The Batman comes in next and says, the only thing I can think to ask is, what happened in your life 14 years ago in Canada? So he's thinking the dates may be relevant with something going on in 2010. And that's a fair enough question. I don't know. You got to look for the symbolism, I guess. And I don't pretend to know what the nickels mean, but I think it's fascinating. Lars Grass comes in and says, might just be a friendly poltergeist dropping off some things for you. Yeah, I don't know. It could be. Could be just, hey, I like that you're here. Here's what I got, something shiny. It could be something like that. That's a good point. Oh, look at this. Chucky Danger says 2010 is the year my son was born. Oh, that's sweet. That is important. So maybe that's like a grandparent coming through and just saying, hey, we're with you. And we're celebrating you and your family. We love you. That's really cool. The Batman comes in next, says, any connection to Canada or someone no longer with us has one? Any connection to Canada or someone no longer with us has one? Just grasping at straws. Yeah, I don't know. Devin comes in next. I always wonder if simulation theory is possible and that we have a bit of merging going on with other parallel timelines mixing in with ours. CERN possibly being part of the reason why, or even a message from someone on the other side somehow leaving us physical messages with tokens and such. But since it seems personal, maybe it's for you to decipher them. Those reasons are definitely reaching, though. We try to comprehend the paranormal world with our small understandings of it, but it's probably far more complex than we think it is. Yeah, for sure. So I think it would require a higher sense of awareness to know the answers to these happenings if they don't have a rational explanation. Maybe meditation or some form of spiritual time on it would help the answer to come to you. Yeah, I think so. You can always reach out to Deb, too. Deb is wonderful and is always happy to help. So look out for Deb Varner, our Paranormal Portal psychic. She's very, very good and very gifted, and she's been a part of this community and family forever. And so I would reach out to Deb and ask her too, Chucky, just saying. Sinfully Wicked 67 comes in and says, oh, what happened? What happened now? Bad boy, you're doing it again. Man, brother. Sending the love. Thank you, brother. You know what's kind of interesting is that it gives out the memberships, the 1 month memberships to random people in that are watching the stream. And oftentimes, like Aaron M popped up. I didn't know that Aaron M was even watching, but I do now. So it's kind of cool. Gemini Moon's out there too. Hey, Gem, good to see ya. And then Hooking Good Creations by Tina. Thank you for coming in. Hooking Good Creations by Tina. Shadowside Paranormal Research Society. Very cool to see you guys here. Thank you so much for tuning in. And then Michael Miller. Good to see you guys. Thank you all. So most of those names I didn't even know were here. So, hey, Truth, good to see you. Hey, all with love. Right back at you. Thank you so much for coming in. That's very sweet. That's very cool. I'm just trying to catch up. Yeah, I think that's funny. All right. Hold on. I had to sniffle. Speaking from my personal experiences, this is Sinfully Wicked. I believe coins to be a sign of a loved one who has passed. My grandmother used to give me a quarter every Sunday if I was still and quiet during church service. Oh, that's sweet. After she passed on Christmas Eve when I was 12, I would find quarters very often outside playing, out walking with friends, etc. Well, I never thought much about it. Then after my dad passed suddenly in 1982, 2 months before my 16th birthday, I was a big daddy's girl. He was the one who picked me at the age of 4 months and adopted me. Oh, that's beautiful. I started finding dimes everywhere. I didn't think much about the ones I found in the washing machine, but then again, outside, I would find them on the sidewalk, in the grass, and still didn't think much about it. After my father-in-law passed, I would find dimes and nickels everywhere around and inside our house. The odd thing with that happening is my father-in-law was never a big one at gifting, but it was the last place he had visited us before moving to Florida, where he passed. These occurrences had happened for about a year after he passed and then suddenly stopped. I was told by a very trusted medium I know that it was a sign of my loved ones showing their approval and letting me know they were okay, to start trusting my instincts. I used to second guess my gut feelings back then, and to pay attention. I was also told it could be a sign from God or an angel that he or they knew I'd be in that spot right at that moment. Nowadays, I don't find coins. I have a lot of visits from certain birds, cardinals, blue jays, and we have a woodpecker that hangs around, which is odd living in the city. Love this question. And as someone had mentioned already, maybe meditate on it and you might just get the answer. Yep. And then there's Hawk Patu. I don't know what it means, but listen to this. This past spring sometime, I was working on earrings to sell during the summer at various gatherings. Side hustle type of thing. Well, anyway, the couch sits in the middle of the living room, cutting the room in two areas. Well, I have a messy little table near the front door that is sort of a catch-all when you get home. When I finished a pair of earrings, I cut the thread and placed the scissor on the coffee table in front of me, as I've done a million times before. My coffee table is another messy situation with all my supplies needed for the work that I'm doing. I think the saying is cluttered but organized. Yeah, you should see this desk. It's cluttered but organized. I know where everything is, but nobody else could possibly know. Well, I spent about 30 minutes looking all around the coffee table and couch, lifting cushions, and getting a chance to organize my supplies. I gave up. I ended up not only organizing the work area in front of the couch and towards the TV, but started to do it in the back half. On that little table nearest to the door is a plate type of thing that had a small painting on it. Well, I hadn't hung it yet. The scissors was under the painting. Under it. About 6 feet behind my seat. How? The universe is a strange thing. All things are possible, apparently, but you put something down and it teleports. Well, I just cut the thread, put the scissors down, added the earring hooks, grabbed more thread off the spool to start another pair, and there's no scissors to cut the thread. I say 30 minutes, but I think it was longer than that, and I'll look for the text that I sent my dad. Wow. Oh, here's another one. Another interesting thing is that my brain changed the item from an awl to a pair of scissors. So I must have poked the holes to sew the bags up. I did it in several sections, so I don't make the bags crooked. Oh, okay. And these are pictures. I was sitting on the couch here, okay, and my awl was over at the lights back there. So it was under this painting, I guess. Oh, there it is. Yep. Wow. Hiding under the picture, someone had hid it on me or something. While I was looking for it, it felt like someone had poked my back. Strange, right? It was so strange I had to text my dad right away. Not caring that it was 1:30 a.m. I still can't get over it. I could have sworn it was a pair of scissors. I'm losing my mind. Or is it a Mandela effect? Maybe it was scissors and now you're in a new universe. I think we're always popping through different universes. Coming up next is Eyes responding. I wonder if it's because you look into the unknown. You might have some visitors that are warping space and time around you. Maybe the universe or its representatives, think it's funny to leave you a little tip for encouraging all of us to keep looking to the stars. I'll take that. Hopefully that we are being watched over by something benevolent that does not wish us to stop dreaming. Oh, that's a very good thought. Beautiful thought. Chucky has an update. I have an update to this phenomena. I was sent an episode of the Mysterious Universe podcast about the Navajo Rangers that deal with all the X-File-like cases. They actually have experienced the coin phenomena on a much larger scale. All the coins are heads up, just like mine. I guess what year this happened for them. 2010, just like the dates on both of my coins. Wow. Yeah, that's a lot of synchronicity for sure. Rachel comes in next. I think it's a personal message for you. Money and coins is one of the ubiquitous objects that we have. It could be a message of hello, a message of helping. I myself had a similar type of event happen in September. I use a Swiss Army knife in woodworking. I own two, and I always place them in a safe place and forget where they are. One day I was at my art table and I wanted to do some woodworking and I couldn't find the knives. An hour later, one of them was on my art table. It was quite a surprise. Yeah, maybe these are like helper spirits or little fae or something. I don't know. Maybe we do have unseen helpers that just kind of pitch in little ways like that. I wish they'd pull some lottery numbers for us. Barbara Mora comes in next. I tend to believe it means good fortune. You and your family are secure. I'd be interested in hearing what you think it means. Where it means good fortune to me may not be others' interpretation. Since it's happening to you, you have the answer, and it hasn't dawned on you yet. Yeah, I don't know. It's tough to really drill into what could it mean, but yeah. I kind of agree with everybody, though. I think you got to do some soul searching and what could it represent? What is the uniqueness? The date, I think, is unique. John T says, really don't know. I've had pennies appear in travels. I know that they weren't there before. Angels, maybe? And Lars Grass says, hi, YouTube. Lars popped in to get a little hello to YouTube. Very cool. Very cool. Well, that is the question of the week. Thank you to everybody that weighed in. I will tell you, I've gotten, I don't know. I'm sure I've had many other things, but the one big one that jumps to my mind of an apport was, and I've shared this on the show before, so I'm sorry if it's redundant, but I was living at the time with Sheldon, and my middle son Oliver would come on every other weekend or something like. Yeah, it was every other weekend, and we were living in my grandparents' old house, and we were the only ones living there. When we first moved in there, there were people that were living upstairs in the upstairs part. We lived in the small downstairs apartment, and it was fine. We were right on the lakefront and stuff. It was wonderful. It's where I met that pet fox that I've talked about. And it's where I grew up, was right there. My parents' house is right across the street. So, but the thing is I never knew my grandfather. He passed before I was born. But my whole life, I was told by so many people, wow, you're just like your Grandpa Kurt. You look just like your Grandpa Kurt. Oh, you remind me of your Grandpa Kurt. It's like, oh, okay. Well, I always took that to be a good thing, whether it was in my behavior or whatever, because everybody liked Grandpa Kurt. And I always wondered, does Grandpa Kurt like that we're here? And I always wondered that because I didn't know. Well, I always had that question in my mind for a while. And Sheldon and I was always hyper vigilant. We didn't really have any curtains, so I was always noticing movement outside of the windows. And we live very rurally. I mean, there were houses around, but it was mostly people would just stick to their thing. It's not like people would be walking through our yard or something like that. It just didn't happen out there. But sometimes we would see a figure walk by one of the windows and be like, who's outside? And I thought it was my dad maybe, but I would go look the direction it was coming, go to a different door and look out. Nobody would come. And I would go outside and look around the house. Nobody was there. And we would start to see that. And that was interesting. And every once in a while, after the people in the upstairs moved out, I would hear footsteps upstairs that would wake me up. Right above my head on the upstairs floor would be these footsteps. And I look at my clock and it's like 2 a.m. and I know nobody's there. Nobody's up there. My mom or dad would never just suddenly come over there. And otherwise it was just locked up there. So I would just hear these footsteps walking around. And I thought, well, maybe that's Grandpa. Because it didn't sound like a female footsteps. It sounded like heavy shoe footsteps. So I thought maybe that was my grandpa. But I didn't know. It was just footsteps that happened. So, well, I didn't think much of that other than maybe that's Grandpa. But it was one day I was sitting watching television in our living room, which was literally 5 steps away from our kitchen and refrigerator. It was a very small apartment, so everything was very compact. And we were just hanging out, and I decided Sheldon and his girlfriend were sitting on the far end of the couch, and I was sitting in my lazy boy, which was next to that, and we're in front of our TV, watching TV all together. But I'm sitting there. I'm like, oh, I need to get a Coke because I drank a lot of Coke then. So I got up, took 3 steps to the fridge, grabbed a Coke, turned around, and I looked at my chair and there was something sitting on the cushion. I'm like, what the hell's that? I just gotten up. I didn't know anything was there. Now, truth be known, I love rocks. I've always collected rocks. So I saw that it was some weird shape on there, and I got close, and it was a rock. But it was this beautiful agate that I'd never seen before. And I'm like, oh. And I said, Sheldon, did you put this on the cushion? And he goes, no. He said, what? And then I showed him. He goes, no, I've never seen that before. And I was like, wow. Well, my grandfather was well known, and these were stories I'd heard growing up my whole life, that he would get up at like 4:30 every morning and go walk on the beach and collect agates right in front of the house. That was his thing. He would just go out at 4:30 every morning and go out and walk the beach and collect agates. And so I always thought maybe that was his way of saying, yeah, I'm happy you're here. And it was just a wonderful feeling. So that's my interpretation of it. I could be wrong, but it's a true story. Yeah. Yeah. Spirit can give me rocks anytime. I carried that rock for decades, but then I did end up losing it. I was playing with the minion in the yard out here. We were raking leaves and we were tumbling in the leaves and stuff, and somehow it fell out of my pocket, and I lost it then. I feel bad about that, but I always carried it with me every day for decades, So at any rate, that's the one big apport story that I can think of. I've seen things show up before, but I was never sure. In this case, I was sure. So we have heavy man footsteps and then small child pitter patter in this house. It freaked the dog out, and my poor husband was shooketh. He thought we were just making it up. Until he experienced it, right? Very cool. Very cool. So anyway, this has been the Discord question of the week. Thank you to everybody that weighed in. Thank you, Chucky, for your question. The coins I received are in a special pocket in my wallet now as lucky coins. Yeah, for sure. I would think that they're a gift of some kind, and I don't think that evil things leave, good gifts. I don't think they're into giving us good stuff usually. So, heartwarming story, Brent. Thanks for sharing. Yeah, thank you, Rachel. I appreciate that. I just thought I'd share it because that's the one apport story that I know. I know I didn't misunderstand that. It wasn't just a random, where's that from? I don't know. That's weird. I've found things before, but I can't be sure they were apports. But this, I know I got up out of that chair and just literally two or three steps, grabbed a Coke and turned around, and there it was sitting in the middle of the chair. It's like, oh, how'd that get there? So that's my story. My audio is good, Grandizer. Oh, is my side or does Brent's audio sound low? I get the volume all the way up on YouTube and laptop, and it still sounds low. I don't know. I'm metering about the same. I'm in the sweet spot here. I'm hitting the yellow, which is where you want. You don't want to be hitting the red on the meters because that means you're clipping. So it looks like I'm good. Anyone remember that Scooby-Doo EP where the mummy walks around saying, "Coin, coin, coin"? Yeah, Reggie. Like Zoink Scoob. I don't remember that. I'm sure you're right. I'm sure that's a real episode. I just don't remember it. All right. Well, let's continue. And this has been the Discord question of the week. So let's be done with the Discord question of the week. Where is it? There it is. I just realized I never turned that on to begin it, did I? I never turned it on, dudes. Okay. Maggie has headphones on. Well, that way you can really hear me and not annoy everyone else. Is it because your family goes, come on, Mom, turn that down. We're trying to watch TV. Lots to think about, always. Yep, thanks, Chucky, and everyone who answered. Lots to think about, for sure. All right, well, let's groove into an article I've pulled up. Let me close this. But thanks again, everybody who weighed in on that. I really appreciate that participation. A lot of people participated in that question of the week. Sometimes we only get a handful of responses, but you guys definitely piled in for that one. So you definitely hit a sweet spot there, Chucky, with that question. I think it's one of those that a lot of people can relate to. I think, maybe most of us have stories of things like that. And that's the thing. We just don't know these stories until we start asking those questions and people go, oh yeah, you know what? I've had something like that too. It's like, wow, a lot of people have experienced it. Very cool. Cause it's, if you think about that, those coins traveled in some way that's supposedly not possible. They traveled through reality or realities to end up where they were. And were they held and touched by another type of being that we don't understand, or is it a loved one that's passed on or whatever? I just think that makes them absolutely fascinating. Not to mention that it's cool. It's money, but it's also, where's that money been? It's been somewhere that we want to understand. So that's pretty cool. That's the big questions. All right. Sometimes I blast you at the neighbors, Brent. Your neighbors, do they piss you off? Is this a punishment or is it a good thing? Do your neighbors love the show? What does that mean? I don't know. No country for old men, the coin tossed, call it. Yeah. Well, that's true. What about a heads or tails coin toss? I meant to leave an answer as I have something similar happen a few times. Same with my boyfriend. Wow, that's cool. Yeah, I think many of us have experienced this where something shows up and it's like, I don't know where the hell that came from, but cool story. Cool story. So I got a conundrum here. It's 8:17. I think we should just jump into the cryptids at this point. I'll save that other article for next week. So anyway, and we'll get into the cryptids now because it's already almost 8:15. Where did the time go? My God. Well, part of it went to question of the week because there's a lot of participation. I really appreciate that. I love the question of the week segment. To me, that is awesome. So let's get into the cryptids and creatures, and we'll start our journey on the wonderful Sasquatch Chronicles, Mr. Wes Germer's site. So here is a transition, a stinger that was created by Grateful Owl for the show. Since we're highlighting things people have made for the show, this is one we use every night, but here you go. That is so cool. That is so cool. The time zone change, maybe starting late, feels like time is going by faster. The Paranormal Portal is a time anomaly grandizer. It just happens. It just sucks us in and shoots us right through the time-space continuum. It's almost unfair. It feels like we're being robbed. But I know that by the end, I'm feeling tired. Doing these shows does take a bit of energy. And being a naturally introverted person, this is me pushing all my personality out for you guys. Because you guys would not find me entertaining at all if you could see me when I'm not doing shows. I may not talk for hours and hours and hours. And I'm okay with that. Honestly, I'm just really, really a hermit by nature. So here I am pretending to be a host, pretending to give you all this stuff. So anyway, this is the Cryptid Corner, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to dive into this. Special thanks, of course, to Wes Germer of Sasquatch Chronicles. He's been an incredible supporter of both me and the show, and he's just a wonderful friend. So thanks for letting us use this, Wes. I truly appreciate it. All right, here we go. This one is from Sasquatch Chronicles blog. And ladies and gentlemen, please support Wes's site. Again, he already has one of the greatest podcasts ever. But his blog, his website is incredible as well. And I don't think he gets near the recognition for that, but he's constantly posting things up there. And, information, articles from other shows and other creators and stuff. He is just always posting up there and does a hell of a job. So help to support what he's doing and stop by Sasquatch Chronicles. Check out the blog. You could be at it for months and never finish. He's just been doing this for years and years and years. So lots of great information. Brent, I don't talk at all. I could never start up a channel. I just sit there. I hear you. It's a stretch for me too. I can pretend to be extroverted for a couple hours or, on whatever I'm other shows and stuff, but Honestly, I'm very, very quiet in person. This is you'd be probably incredibly bored with me. You guys, those of you that have never met me, I don't know. I mean, I like to have fun. I like to joke, and if I know you, then I'm really outgoing. But it's just tough. I don't know. I'm always battling myself, but it's okay. I love doing this, and I love doing it with you guys. So it's well worth the efforts. I love Wes and his non-existence Bigfoot in the garage. Yeah, he doesn't have one in the garage, but then again, nobody else does either. All these people that are experts, nobody's an expert, but we have a lot of theories and ideas. All right, so this is from November 9th, tonight's show. This one is live now, folks. And you can see that, I think it's live right now, yeah. It says Tonight Show. He released this earlier. I think he's got another post on the blog where it's actually up. So you can go listen to it if you aren't already listening to Wes's show on other platforms. But this is from November 9th, today old. Tonight Show, a giant man around 7.5 feet tall. Honestly, you think about that. If you see a bipedal creature that's 7.5 feet tall or better, even at 7 feet, you're already down to like a small fraction of a percent of the world's population. Like it's not even 1% of the world's population would be 7 feet tall or better. I mean, it's just rare. And what are the odds that somebody's going to put on a monkey suit at over 7 feet tall and go walk in the woods just to get a rise out of people? First of all, there aren't that many people that would even qualify. And if you tried to do it with like stilts or extensions like that, you'd break your neck. I mean, you just running through the woods with stilts in a monkey suit would be just about suicide. I mean, honestly, you'd just be hurting yourself. And it certainly wouldn't be worth it. But anyway, so if you see something 7 feet tall or better, it's bipedal in the woods, running through there and traversing just fine, chances are that is not a person. In fact, I would say you got better odds pulling folded clothes out of your dryer after it finishes. So anyway, tonight's show, a giant man around 7.5 feet tall. A listener writes, I listened to your podcast and finally have the courage to talk about this. I'm not an outspoken person, and this incident due to people thinking that I'm crazy. But I figure now's the time to come out about it. My 3 other friends who this happened to are still scarred until this day and refuse to speak on it. So here's what happened at Cuyahoga Valley National Park. I was camping with some friends, and there was 4 of us going up there to camp, hike, and enjoy the outdoors. This happened sometime in July or August of 2019, but I can't remember exactly what day it happened. Just as we set up camp, we had the bright idea to go hiking. And this was right at about 7 to 8 p.m. at night when the park was closed, but there was still daylight out. We started hiking near the Cuyahoga River on a towpath trail. We were hiking for a good half hour or half mile or so. I don't know what half of what. Down this path, and all of a sudden, we had something throwing sticks that slowly progressed to rocks at us. Well, at first, we thought it was just teenagers playing tricks on us, but the longer it progressed, we started to smell something pungent, and our hair stood straight up. By this time, the sun had gone completely dark, and all we had was our phone lights to guide us. And we all started running back to camp as quickly as we could, but whatever was tracking us was faster, bigger, and stronger. We eventually got winded, and then it all stopped. Dead silence. The woods were extremely quiet and still very eerie. Suddenly we heard the loudest growl we ever heard, sort of like an angry wolf/bear. That's crazy. A friend of mine who had a firearm on him shined the weapon-mounted light into the tree line where we were, and all we caught a glimpse of what appeared to be a giant man/humanoid around 7.5 feet tall And as shown as the light shined on it, it retreated backwards, never to be seen again. We then gathered our breath and ran back to the camp as quick as we could and just got into our tents. As we slept, we heard multiple loud sounds outside our tent and sticks breaking. In the morning, when we woke up, our camp was destroyed, and a pile of rocks was stacked up by the fire pit. We all agreed to never camp there again. Yeah, that's crazy. It's amazing to me that you could sleep, but I suppose it's kind of like the adrenaline dump happens, and then you're just like, you just zonk out. I don't know. You can maybe you can stay in an adrenalized state for an extended period of time, but I think that's just where like things like PTSD start happening. And like this guy said, several of his friends are still scarred to this day and refuse to speak about it. That's really pretty tough to comprehend. And thank God they made it out okay. I mean, again, most of these encounters are not very physically, targeted directly at people. They're more demonstrations. But it does seem, I've said it many times, but it seems like incredible, sophisticated psychological warfare. Like these things, when they want you out of someplace, they don't let you get comfortable. And they keep cranking up the pressure over and over and higher and higher. It'll start with little things like little sticks and stuff, and it'll turn into little pebbles, and it'll turn into bigger sticks, and then maybe rocks, and then kicking trees down or pushing trees down or whatever. I mean, it's just growls, howls, wood knocks. They just keep people on edge until they just leave. And it just, to me, is so intelligent. Why don't you whistle at night? Well, many First Nation cultures would say that you are drawing in negative things to you if you whistle at night. It's very taboo, apparently, in First Nation cultures. Several of them that I'm familiar with, but maybe more. That whistling at night is like, painting a spotlight on yourself in the woods, calling things to you, and especially since like Sasquatch are believed to be whistlers themselves. Like they'll whistle signals back and forth. So, you could be inadvertently calling in a Sasquatch. Not exactly sure why, but Aboriginal lore is not to whistle at night and stay out of the brush altogether at night. Australian Aboriginal, yeah. So there you go. I mean, that's another First Nation of people in the Australian Aboriginals, and they also share that belief. So that's pretty powerful. Yes, Brent, we won't even whistle in his house at night. Wow. Appalachian people don't do it either. Yeah, okay. That's good to know, PG. So in Chinese culture, it draws ghosts. Oh, interesting, Annie. I did not know that. I know that if you get scared in Chinese culture, you're supposed to get really pissed and cuss at the spirits. Like that's how you're supposed to cause them to leave you. You just start cussing at them. So I guess that must work. Talowich whistling at night calls spirits and entities to you. Sasquatch uses whistles to communicate. Chucky and I are on that same page. Yep. So more whistling plus cameras. That seems to be one of those universal things, whistling at night. Yes, it does. Yeah. It's very interesting to me. I didn't know that Aboriginal culture has the same idea, or the Appalachian observations, or other cultures, as it were. But it is interesting. I heard Native Americans say that their mother told them never to whistle in the woods, and that was enough for me. I won't do it now. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, and Bigfoot's only one thing in there, in those woods. What else is out there that might be drawn into your whistling? I don't want to know, honestly. Psst, and cuss in Chinese. I have to brush up on my Chinese. No, I think you can do it in English. That's fine. Probably works the same. It's a cuss is a cuss. Don't have to know the same words. You just got to have the same spirit about it. Will a trainless whistle affect them? No, but train whistles are really, 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 really loud. Is whistling a certain frequency? That's a good point, Maggie. Is it a frequency thing? Because it is just a sound vibration, right? I don't know. Maybe it's, there is something in many cultures in the mystical world. dealing with sacred breath. And a whistle, of course, is produced by the breath. Words are as well, but it's more of a controlled, lower amount of breath. But a whistle is a projection of breath. And so, I don't know. Death whistle only, Maggie. Yeah. I wonder about a dog whistle. That's interesting, John, that you said that. I've thought about that too. It's like, why don't people bring those out and start blowing on them? Or maybe they do. I'm just not familiar with it personally. But I'd be curious to know if they get Sasquatch activity from a dog whistle, because, of course, that's far beyond our range of hearing, but perhaps not theirs. Maybe they're hearing on the same ranges as dogs and other canines and bears and fox and all that other stuff. Maybe they're hearing those same extended frequencies beyond our range. That's very, very interesting. I'm a good whistler, actually. Well, nice, Chucky. That's a Dead South song. In hell, I'll be in good company. I don't know if you guys are familiar with it, but look up the Dead South and listen to that song. It's pretty awesome. It's kind of a banjo-y thing, but I like it. I like the Dead South. Those guys are great. It's actually, the funny thing is that they look like they're from the South. They sound very Southern, not in the way they talk, but they're actually Canadian. I was like, wow. Yeah. I wonder if a dog whistle would stop infrasound. Probably not, because it's a different frequency. Infrasound is a low, and dog whistle is extraordinarily high. I wonder if there's if it would be possible to figure out what that infrasound frequency is, and then utilize a harmonic that would be opposite to that. Maybe that would cancel it. I don't know. Great. Yeah, Johnny Kilroy says great band. Yeah, they are. I like them. I like them a lot. If the ghost box goes off, oh boy. Yeah, it's been real quiet tonight. Oh, it's just spiking about something right now. You can see it right here. The graph is going down and up. So something's going on.
Guardian.
Grandizer, you just spooking me out now. It said Guardian. Well, I guess our Guardian is here. Hello, welcome, Guardian. Thank you for showing up for the show as well. It's the Guardian of the Portal is here, folks. How about that? Grandizer called that right before it happened. I look over and there's all these spikes going on. I'm like, ooh. Grandizer, what's going on? Is there something you're not telling us? There we go, he says. Yeah, your guardian ghost. Well, I always appreciate having a guardian. Thank you. Thank you for being a guardian. The world needs more guardians, but I'm glad you're here. Yep, you whistled. You were warned not to do that. No. No, I whistled a good song though. And now I got Guardian. So maybe that's a good song. I didn't get anything dark. So unless it's a Guardian that didn't like my whistling. If that's the case, apologize. Don't mean to ruffle any feathers. Guardians of the Galaxy, I am Groot. I am Groot. You were warned not to do that. Yep. Guardian keeping bad mojo away. I hope so. I got a few of these around the studio. This is one I haven't hung yet. This is supposed to be a Guardian mask from Bali, Indonesia. It's hand carved. And I've got an all black one over there on the wall, and then there's a gold one. Almost the same colors as this one, right above everything you can't quite see on the wall. It's above the Paranormal Portal flashing sign. So, but yeah, this is a Guardian mask. It's supposed to keep away evil spirits, and 2 of them are hung, but I got 1 more to hang. So, but isn't that cool? Grizzly Stitch must be helping with the juju. Absolutely. But there it is. Put it on. Be like, just saying. Kind of cool, but beautiful, beautiful things. This mask right here is a gift from Ruthie. She sent it to me, and that's from Java, Indonesia, hand carved, and it's from the 80s or something like that. So it's several years old now. Yeah, it is beautiful, isn't it? Yep. And it's a very light wood too, whatever it is, but it's all hand painted and just gorgeous. Yep. Very beautiful. But they are supposedly guardians. I don't know what the lore behind it is or the legend of these masks, but they're very cool. I love masks. I don't know why. I mean, I inadvertently ended up with a small collection of them. My home is full of guardian tiki. Yeah, that's right, Chucky. You told me that, didn't you? Yeah, it probably is teak now that you mention it. It's very light, whatever it is, but very cool. Who is it? Your guardian. I'm here. Just saying. I'm just playing with my masks now. But I got to hang that one. I'm going to hang it on that wall looking that way. I got two looking this way. I'm going to have that one looking that way towards the entry door. So I figure, well, you know, if you believe in that kind of stuff. And I don't know if I do or not, but I figure, well, can't hurt. I need all the help I can get. Brent, are there any conventions you'll be attending the year before the year is up? Nothing I have scheduled right now. I know I think there's one coming up in January over in Forks, Washington. Is it Squatch Fest? I may be going over to that one. I haven't decided yet, but I'm not doing anything currently that I know of. I love doing the conferences, though. I love getting out and meeting people and talking to them about the show. So, yeah, very cool. But anyway, there we have it. What do we got for time? 8:37. We got time for more. And don't worry, because we're going to get to more. What was this one? Oh, God, this is an article that Wes had up. And I did see this somewhere else, too, and I never read it. I think I'm going to read it. It's not really cryptid related, but it sounds fascinating or disturbing, or it's another one of those things like, why are they doing this stuff? Maybe they're messing with stuff that they shouldn't be. I don't know. This is another article that Wes posted that I thought was fascinating from November 6th. Scientists created organisms in a lab that exist in a third state beyond life and death. Why do they need to do that exactly? Why? BGR.com reports, what if scientists could take cells from both living and dead organisms and turn them into entirely new organisms beyond life and death? Welcome to the zombie apocalypse, ladies and gentlemen. It's these Franken idiots that are going to do it to us, too. They're going to do it to us. They're going to make zombies. And then we're going to be screwed. And be like, oh, thanks for the third state of organisms, you dicks. All right, while it might sound completely out of this world, something you'd expect to see in a science fiction novel, that's precisely what scientists have done, going so far as to create a third state of existence. Oh, God, I just don't like when they do stuff like this. It just never ends up very well. Anyway, maybe it's just me. I just worry about these people poking turds they shouldn't be doing. This groundbreaking accomplishment is highlighted in a new study review published in the journal Physiology. With the researchers showcasing the methods they used to achieve it in an essay published in The Conversation, biologist Peter Noble, Alex Pozhitkov, co-authors of the new review, say that this new third state will challenge how all scientists understand cell behavior. Yeah, exactly, John. Playing God again. But it isn't just this new third state beyond life and death which excites many. See, organisms have long been known to change in ways that we don't fully understand. Exactly why they shouldn't just be making Franken organisms. What's it going to do? Where's that going? Do you know? No, you don't. As such, it is more impressive that biobots developed by these scientists have entirely new functions that really set them apart from other organisms. Yeah, they'll be trying to inject these into people before you know it. Overeating sugary foods and drinks could be linked to depression. Some organisms make unexpected changes, like caterpillars, which metamorphose into butterflies. While these radical changes are part of a predetermined path for the cells, the biobots allow the researchers to create something that does things beyond what was originally engineered and programmed to do. Yeah, that's what terrifies me. Like repair damaged neuron cells in a nearby petri dish. And they eat brains. Well, this kind of radical movements are what make these organisms beyond life and death so exciting and so interesting to learn about, but there's still a lot we don't know about them, and more research will hopefully help us determine how to create other organisms in that mysterious third state. But why? Why? What are they doing that you want them to do? This new pill can mimic the effects of a workout while you sit on the couch. Oh, God. That's why. That's why. Just so people can sit and eat Cheetos and have a, an 18-year-old physique. But they might start craving brains and other crap. But for now, though, we can at least look forward to seeing what these scientists do next. No, I'm not looking forward to it. These developments could help us further develop other living robots like biobots and xenobots, which can accomplish tasks that scientists wouldn't expect. See, I mean, what the hell is the logic there? They're building things that they don't even know what they're going to do, but they're building them to see what they do. What if what they do is just sucks? And then we're all stuck with it because they were playing Frankenstein. Oh, man, I just, I don't understand that logic, and I don't know. Hopefully someday this kind of madness will stop. It's like, hey, let's spray crap in the upper atmosphere because, well, global warming. Really? Are you sure what you're doing is a good thing? I mean, at all? I don't know enough to say whether there is global warming or not. I've heard both sides of the arguments. I'm not a scientist, but I'll tell you what, you don't just spray shit in the atmosphere because you think it might have a benefit, or whatever. And then you find out not, that maybe they're poisoning water supplies or whatever with barium and stratium or whatever the hell else they're spraying. It's like, oh, people just leave nature alone. Ugh. I just realized one of the pictures with the mask also is wearing a super hairy coat with massive amounts of hair. I don't know what you're talking about, Maggie. Well, I don't know. Brent 101, like Dave Scott 101, get off my lawn. Yeah, exactly. Climate change, not global warming. Yeah, there you go. I don't know. I'm just telling you. It just really, really disturbs me when they start poking and prodding just to see what they can do without really knowing what they're doing. That just terrifies me. I mean, literally, they're going to create zombies someday and be like, oh, whoops. Gee, sorry about that. Well, thanks. Something's chewing on my head. I appreciate that. That apology means a lot to me. Dicks. God, they were a bunch of unbelievable. Anyway. It's like loading chemicals into a bomb and just launch it. Well, not sure what it's doing, but we're going to see. It's like voting for the bill without knowing what it is because we got to just see what it is. Yeah, I mean, how many times in politics have you heard that one? It's like a 50,000-page bill, but you only got 2 days to read it, and we don't really know what it says, but we should pass it just because we're going to find out. What? This is the science equivalent to that. It really is. This is a scientific equivalent to, well, let's just do it and see what happens. That's not a good formula for life. Anyway, I'm done thinking about that. I'm just going to end up pissed. So, there's a reason for everything, no coincidences. Sure, there is that. Good point, John. The article say what their medical goal was? No, it didn't. It just said they just put these things together and they found out they have unintended results, and they don't really say what that is. But I guess so people can eat Cheetos and watch pay-per-view and then not gain weight. It's like, really, how about you just go for a walk? How about you don't eat Cheetos as much and maybe get some exercise? That's probably a better way to do it. Freaking A. Oh, unbelievable. Anyway, I'll get off my soapbox. But anyway, that was a lot more disturbing than I thought. Here we go. Here's another cryptid tale from phantomsandmonsters.com. This is Lon Strickler's site. Amazing site, as always. Please check it out. Lon works really, really hard. He's doing incredible stuff over there, posting several of these every day. Every day. There's a whole bucket of things you can read and check out over there. Lon does his own podcast, which is Phantoms and Monsters Radio, which is also a YouTube channel. And you should check that out because he does live streams every Friday night. And it's fantastic to watch because Lon's the guy. And he's talking about a lot of these articles that he does post. So it's fascinating to hear his thoughts on it that aren't included in the articles. So help support what Lon's doing. Go over and visit phantomsandmonsters.com. Spend days or weeks or months checking out all of the stuff he posts. But this article is from November 4th, gruesome Sasquatch tale along the Chetco River in Oregon. Oh, look at that. What the hell is that? That's a saber squatch. It's like a cross between Predator and Bigfoot. All right, that night the loggers were awakened by shrill screams of something not quite human in the near underbrush. Seizing a rifle, one man lit a torch and headed into the darkness. There's one brave guy, but probably not a good idea. You know, this is from the 1890s. In the late 1890s, near Chetco River in southern Oregon, a dozen loggers and their families encountered a great beast with disastrous results. Camping in tents by the river, the lumbermen would awaken each morning to find their freshly cut timber, which required 3 men to move, carelessly scattered about like matchsticks. Huge human footprints left in the damp earth were the only clues. Since they had been having trouble with bears, the men followed the footprints through the torn shrubbery and uprooted saplings until they disappeared. Well, that night the loggers were awakened by shrill screams of something not quite human in the near underbrush. Seizing a rifle, one man lit a torch and headed into the darkness. He was quickly followed by several other men. In a very short time, the first man rushed back to collapse in terror at the feet of his tracking companions. He babbled incoherently about a hairy monster, 8 feet tall, with yellow eyes, fangs, and hands like a man. His description put the camp in an uproar. The next night, 2 men decided to track and kill the hairy intruder. Well, they carried a small lantern and loaded rifles and disappeared into the darkness behind the tents. Back in camps, their friends heard screams and shrieks and the sounds of gunfire. And then silence. When the 2 men did not reappear, the other loggers grabbed lanterns and torches, and while firing their guns into the air, set out in search of their comrades. A half-mile from camp, they found the scene of a desperate struggle. Broken and bleeding, arms and legs ripped from their torsos, their 2 friends lay scattered all over the place. They had been slammed against trees and torn into pieces by something with incredible strength. Blood dripped into small pools from branches high in the trees, as well as from the crushed greenery of the surrounding shrubs. But of the hairy creature responsible, there were only bloody footprints leading deep into the woods. The loggers struck camp and left the area the next day. Professional hunters entered the forest in the days that followed, but found no signs of the creature. Yeesh. Yeah, you poke the sleeping bear. I mean, it's interesting because you can look at that tale and actually learn, I think, quite a bit. Again, is it absolutely factual? We don't know. But it's another case, if it is factual, where whatever this thing was, it was making itself known. It was making a mess of things. In other words, trying to make it so they would leave. But it wasn't physically attacking them. It was just intimidating them. It was just making a mess of things. It was obviously not happy with them cutting the wood and stuff in that area. But it wasn't attacking them. It could have. It could have started shredding tents and tearing people up and doing that all that time while they slept. But it didn't. And it took them going out twice, 2 times, trying to shoot at this thing and maybe even wounding it. And then it went, oh no, now we're engaged. And it destroyed those 2 men. But it was provoked. It was provoked with physical harm. And it's surprising to me that men could go out with a couple lanterns and some rifles and actually find them. That to me is surprising. But perhaps this is early enough in people's presence in these forests that maybe these Bigfoot really didn't understand what guns were. Didn't really understand why those guys are all carrying these weird sticks. Maybe didn't really know, but now I think they do. I think they know what guns are. And they see that and they go, nope. And they just get out because they know they can be wounded from far away. I think there's something to that. But New England Dirt Roadie, how you doing? Good to see you. But I think that's, in this case, this thing was directly provoked a couple of times. And finally, when it was being shot at and stuff and maybe hit, it just went, oh, okay, well, now we're at the next level. Now it's deadly. And I don't know. You just don't want to provoke that fight, I don't think. So, all right. Anyway, interestingly enough, that's a pretty terrifying tale. But, again, it's an old tale. Is it for sure a legitimate tale? Well, we just can't know unless you were there. But it's being presented as a real tale. And if they did really strike camp and get the hell out of there, there's a reason they did. It kind of reminds me of the Bauman story, of the Bauman incident, which happened up in probably North Montana, probably near my area, but not quite in this area, more easterly than me. But that Bauman and his trapping partner went up there to trap, and they set out their traps and stuff, and they were sitting in their campsite. It's from the 1800s. This is an account that was in Teddy Roosevelt's book, The Wilderness Hunter or something like that. I can't remember what the name of his book was. But Teddy Roosevelt, the former president or the future president, depending on when he wrote it, he's the one that recorded this story from allegedly Bauman himself. And they went up there trapping, and they had kind of a lean-to in the forests of North Montana, and they were just sitting there, had a fire going, and something came up, and they could hear it coming, and they could hear it like it was walking on 2 feet, and it came up and got into the firelights, kind of coming into them and going, what's going on? And, being old trappers, they were presented by something they couldn't understand. They didn't know these things were out there. And so they shot at it. Now, they didn't find blood, I don't think, but they think they probably hit it, and it ran off. And it was the next day that they were going out. They decided, wait, this is weird. Let's kind of get out of here. And so they went out each their separate ways to go collect their traps and just to bring in whatever they had, and then they were going to get the hell out of there. So Bauman goes out, and then he comes back to camp, and he sees his buddy just sitting there at a weird angle, and he looks, and something's wrong, and as he gets closer, he realizes his friend's neck is twisted around. It's been broken. And then this thing apparently was also stalking Bauman, who was able just to drop everything and just go, and did get out. But, again, it was provoked. It was something that probably didn't really understand guns, and it came to understand them very quickly, and offered retribution, I guess. So interesting stories, but that does seem to be a common theme, that if left unassaulted, they will do things to intimidate you to get you out of there. They will shadow you. They will make you uncomfortable. They will crank up the psychology and the psychological warfare and just make you so you don't want to be there in order to get you to leave. And that will be the end of it. But if you do retaliate physically with weaponry, then it's a whole different level. Then it becomes life or death. And that's a struggle that we probably aren't going to win. I don't know. Again, I like my head attached to my shoulders, thanks. Yeah, me too. The Nahanni Valley of the Headless Men. Wow. I saw one or two Bigfoot documentaries in the theater, including the Bauman story. Yeah. I covered the Bauman story on the Paranormal Portal podcast in maybe season 2. I read it. I read the account. I covered the Albert Ostman story as well. And he was grabbed and taken and held kind of captive by a family of Bigfoot up in the north of the Toba Inlets in British Columbia. So, yeah, I mean, there's definitely many accounts of people experiencing these things, but not all of them are murderous, but I think they become murderous. And that's why I always cringe when somebody's popping shots at these things. It's like, oh my God, you're putting everybody that might enter that area at risk after that, because you've showed them that they can get hurt. It may not kill them, might not even really wound them, but I'm betting it doesn't feel good to get shot. Even if it doesn't kill them, it probably sucks a lot. So Nahanni got a lot of weird stuff going on. My great-grandfather mysteriously disappeared there in 1928. I do believe my great-grandfather was taken by little people. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's also another thing. Yeah. Yep, that is such a bloke thing to say. Ha ha ha. What's the bloke thing to say, Meg? I don't know. Hi, Phil. Glad you came back, but I just got to tell you, the journey's about over for this week, folks. I think I'd rather head twisted than de-limbed. Yeah, I think so too, but I'll bet you the de-limbing didn't happen first. I think it just happened after, like it probably smashed the guy. And he was unalived at that point, and then it just frenzied. Just like, I'm not done with you. Yeah, so Naha tribe mysteriously disappeared. Wow. That's incredible, yeah. I mean, there's lots of amazing stories. Again, I just want to put this out there. I haven't been doing it a lot on the live shows, but I'm starting to because, I can never have too many guests. If you got experiences of your own and wouldn't mind being a guest on the podcast, I would love to talk to you. Just go over to paranormalportal.net and click the interview me button. It will launch my calendar app and pull up dates and times that I have set aside to do interviews. Pick a date and time, and it'll email me, it'll email you, and it'll be on my schedule, and we'll connect, and I'll interview you. If none of those dates and times work, email me at paranormalportalradio@gmail.com, and I will make up a specific time to connect with you, and outside of the normal times. But we'll have to figure that out because my schedule is pretty hectic, but I can usually work something out with you guys. So if any of you got stories you wouldn't mind coming on and sharing with our podcast audience, please do. Again, paranormalportalradio@gmail.com or paranormalportal.net and schedule your own interview. Thank you, Maggie, for those links. I appreciate it. Thank you, Rachel. I appreciate that as well. You guys are awesome. Brent, what about when others want to interview you? Then reach out to me at paranormalportalradio@gmail.com and just reach out to me. I never say no to anybody. If anybody ever offers to have me on their show, I'm happy to show up and, answer questions. So that's always a possibility. Well, thank you all for being here. I hope you guys had a good time. Thanks for being a part of the journey as always. This is going to wrap it up for this week's broadcasts. Watch for the podcast next week. I may be releasing it on Wednesday. I'm doing a promotion for Mr. Ballin that is going to be airing at the same time, and I want to match it to the release of the episode, but that doesn't launch until Wednesday. It may still launch on Monday. I'm waiting to hear back from my hosting company. But at any rate, watch for the new podcast this next week. Watch for the video podcast, hopefully later tomorrow. I'll get it posted. I do have to go get some car work done. So thanks, Brent, for another great show. Thank you, Drew. I appreciate it. And thank you all for being here. Thanks for being a part of the journey with me. And I got to tell you, even though our shows are not enormous, like we don't have thousands of people watching or even hundreds of people, I still adore doing these. I love getting together with you guys and talking about this stuff. So I would appreciate it if you put the word out to other people so they could learn about the shows and maybe come join us. But, in any case, thank you all for oh, my shirt came. Cool. Good. Send me a picture on Discord, or you can do it publicly if you want, or if you want it privately. I just like to see it. I just think that's cool. I got a picture from John Stevenson, who's wearing his shirt to a conference. So that was really cool. I think it was John Stevenson. It was one of the Johns. Whoever won a shirt, one of the Johns did. So I just really appreciated seeing that. And it's really cool to see you guys as well. I just see names on a screen. So when I can see your photos and stuff, it's like, oh, cool. So if you get a shirt, if you want a shirt, if you've got a shirt, take a picture and send it to me. I'd love to see it. And it doesn't have to be public. It can be private. but it's just really cool. It warms up my heart. Makes me all toasty inside. So, all right. So you have 14,000 is the max viewers you have been live like this. I've had a few hundred before when I've had like Vic Cundiff on. We've had like 200 or 300. Vic brings a crowd. But I've, also had big names on and had just a, handful of people. So it's hard to say. I don't know. Maybe I'm falling short. Maybe I'm not good at promoting the shows and I need to get better at that, but send a picture of all three. Well, thank you, SoCal. I appreciate that, man. That's awesome. All right, guys. Well, that's it for the journey tonight. Amused. I wore the shirt to a VA hospital. They were not amused. Can't please everyone. I'm sorry, Grandizer. I hope it wasn't a Portal shirt. Yikes. All right. Well, that's it. That's all I got time for. I got to get to a few other things before the night is over. And then I will talk to you guys on Wednesday again for sure. So I hope you guys will be here. Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, we do these live streams on YouTube, Rumble, and Twitch. So I'd love to have you guys show up and hang out with me again. And spread the word, please. Let other people know. And I'll meet you here. I'll turn on the lights, and hopefully you'll show up. So that's it, guys. That's all we got. Next time you talk to Wes, tell him to restock. Yeah, I haven't actually talked to Wes. I mean, we message back and forth and stuff, but I haven't actually talked to him on the phone in a while. He's been extraordinarily busy lately too. So, but if I do, I'll pass it on. Hey, Wes, stock your store. Have a good week, Brent, and everyone in the chat. Thank you, Grandizer. I appreciate it. So that's going to wrap it up. Remember, love you all. Be good, be kind, be nice. Take care of each other. Help each other out. Find the magic in every day and remember to laugh as much as you can. And watch out for the zombies. They might be out there anytime, the way these clowns are going. Anyway, that's it. That's the show. That's all I got. Good night, everybody. See you on Wednesday. Why isn't the button working? I'm hitting the button. It's not doing anything. My buttons failed. I'll do it manually. Hold on. I got to find it now. Why would it quit now? Dang technology. Where the hell's the credits? Where's the credits? I got to find it. I got to sit here and scroll through this list of scenes that I've got. Let's see. I can't believe it's not right up here. Should be. Credit. There we go. Okay, here we go. I found it. All right, see you guys next time. Five-hour stream. I can't give you that much. I'd be asleep. Good night, everybody. Don't change a thing, Grandizer. I love you guys just like you are. Don't change.